Welcome back. This is Board Game Officer. That's right. You should start a YouTube channel, whether it's about board games or whether it's about anything, because all you really need is a phone and a tripod. If that's all you got, that's all you need. So let's go ahead and jump in and let me show you. I'm going to show some pictures of my very first setup. My very first setup, I was actually in a small little apartment and I was hospitalized, so it was not even like I shared a room. Anyways, I had my own private room. All I had was a desk. I had a desk and a phone and a tripod. So hopefully I've tried to find some pictures here. So as you can see, I had a desk. I took the hutch off and turned it to the side so I could put my phone up in there and try to get a downward view a little bit. And then I moved from there, and that was my setup there. I wish I could find some pictures. My lighting was basically a lamp shed that I had to kink all sideways so it didn't show too much of a shadow, but it was still okay. And it was skiwampus, but it worked. It worked totally fine. And then I moved to another place. I moved to this place here. As you can see, the walls were all plain. It was super, super echoey. So the sound was hard. Once again, all I had was a flat desk with that little side thing, the hutch up on its side, so I could put my camera up higher to try to get a down view. And that's all it was. And I did that for probably the first 8 months of it. And then I finally came home, and I actually lived with my in-laws in the basement, but I have my setup down here in the basement, which we'll kind of go through. I've kind of grown it as I've been here. Very little. I've gained one or two things here, but let's go ahead and show you what it looks like here. All right, before we get into that, a word from my sponsor. All right, so my sponsor today is Board Game Officer. Man, he has an amazing channel. Without him, this channel would just not be a thing at all whatsoever. And I just want to thank Board Game Officer. Go check his out. He's got playthroughs, he's got reviews, he's got review of reviews. Go ahead, check him out. He's an amazing sponsor. Like I said, I wouldn't be here without him. Back to your show. Man, my sponsor, he's amazing. Go ahead and subscribe to him. He's a good guy. Anyways, let's go ahead and get back into this. So as you can see right now, I actually just got done filming a little Chronicles of Junagor here, but as you can see, so there's my kind of table there, but I've got one little light there. This is my overhead camera now that I just have attached to the table, and then it has another little light there. There's some other games I've got videos coming up with, and then I've got my tripod there that I put my phone in. And then actually, this is my first time I've used this thing. I actually have a stand here on the ground. This is actually my first time ever using that for this video to kind of get my face here behind me. So I have this as my background here. So I had my face there as I was doing this video. Now that was for a talking head video, which is very different than a lot of what I do. When it comes to board games, a lot of times we do a lot of playthroughs. So let me show you how I've done most of my playthroughs. And I need to do a shout out to Barrett from Meet Me at the Table. He did a video just like this that totally inspired me. I even emailed and said, it's your fault that I have a YouTube channel. Because he did this type of thing, showed it how simple it was and how you really can do it. And that's gotten me, and I'm almost to 1,000 subscribers, which isn't a lot, but it's amazing a lot to me, right? So I think it's super cool. That's why I'm going on with this. But let's go ahead and show you how I do just a playthrough for a video. Now when it comes for a playthrough, and I got this from Barrett, exactly what he does. He'll take that, he'll put the phone in there, and he'll push play, he'll talk, he'll push stop, he'll move it over to the board of where he's at, push play, move his character where he needs to, push stop, move it over to where he needs to go next, put it in there, push play, do about there, push stop, and move it around. So it does take time, but he just moves it around. So you think he's got like all these different like camera angles because it just jumps so quickly, but really he's just moving the camera back and forth to wherever he's at. And sorry, I say he because he's the one that taught me how to do this. So that's what I did. I do it a little differently now just because I do have a second camera. I have the one I'm filming now, which is my phone, and then I also have my wife's old phone from years ago that I have a secondary camera. It's not as good, but it is a secondary camera so sometimes I'll do one up in here and one in here, and then I could switch between them when I'm doing my editing, I've been trying to do some stuff with OBS. If you know what OBS is, then you can say I try to connect to my computer. It's kind of a little bit higher tech for me right now. I'm still trying to figure it out. But that, just switching it back and forth, moving that around, super, super simple. So, and then once again, I do want to talk about mics. So I do apologize if you couldn't hear me there. But, so this mic was a $25 lapel mic. And that's actually new. Like, so if you see some of these shots here, that was $20 headset found at a basic post exchange in Poland, right? Like, I was over there, military base there, like super, super cheap. And that's what I used. For the mic is a super, super cheap, easy option. You don't need the big fancies and everything for that microphone. Those basic ones really do quite well. I am a bigger fan of the corded mics. I feel like they do a little bit better than the wireless lapel mics. But either way, you're still better than just the normal iPhone. Even if you do just have that normal iPhone, definitely worth it. Something else I want to talk about that's actually kind of new that I do within the last few months is there's a program called Recut. There's actually a lot of programs out there that do it, but I ended up getting Recut that cuts out all my silences. That has helped so much with my playthroughs because I sit there and think and hum and ah a lot. And so I actually just cut all those out super fast and easy. And that's how I do my quick little playthroughs without all that thinking and umming in there. Super awesome. I'm not sponsored by them at all. I just have really enjoyed it. It's helped my playthroughs a lot. And if you see, I am just in a basement, right? I do not have a fancy studio. I do not have a fancy little office. I'm just off the edge of the kitchen and between the living room. So believe me, you should start a YouTube channel. You need to start a YouTube channel. All you need is a tripod and a mic. If you want to see some of my videos, here's some examples right here. You can see how they've turned out, and I will see you later.